Ladies and gentlemen, there is a truth that has been overlooked for far too long, yet it holds the power to transform relationships, restore confidence, and unlock the hidden potential within men. It is a truth that only a rare few women have discovered. Yet every man silently longs to hear it. Men are often seen as strong, resilient, and independent. Society has trained them to provide, protect, and persevere. But beneath that strength, there lies a silent question in the heart of every man. Do I matter? Am I appreciated? The power of affirmation is one of the most underestimated forces in human relationships. It is a tool that, when used effectively, has the ability to build confidence, restore broken spirits, and inspire greatness. Yet, despite its immense value, many people overlook its significance, especially when it comes to men. Society often portrays men as strong, independent, and emotionally resilient. They are expected to carry burdens without complaint, provide without hesitation, and lead without fear. However, beneath the surface of every man lies a deep and often unspoken need, the need to be affirmed. Affirmation is not just about giving compliments or saying nice words. It is about recognizing and appreciating the value of a person in a way that speaks directly to their soul. It is the difference between a man merely surviving and truly thriving. When a man receives genuine affirmation, it strengthens his sense of purpose and fuels his motivation to keep pushing forward. It reassures him that his efforts, no matter how small or unnoticed they may seem, are meaningful and appreciated. In many relationships, men often do the things they believe will make their loved ones happy. They work hard, make sacrifices, and take on responsibilities to provide security and stability. But what happens when all these efforts go unrecognized? Over time, the absence of affirmation can create a silent struggle within him. He may begin to question whether his actions truly matter. He may start to feel like his efforts are expected rather than appreciated. And in the absence of validation, his motivation can begin to fade. A simple phrase like, "I appreciate you," or "I see how hard you're working, and it means a lot," can have an immeasurable impact. It is not just about the words themselves, but the meaning behind them. Affirmation is a reminder that what a man does is noticed, and that who he is matters. It reassures him that he is not merely fulfilling a duty, but is making a real difference. The power of affirmation lies in its ability to touch the deepest parts of a person's heart, bringing encouragement where there was doubt, strength where there was weariness, and joy where there was exhaustion. Many women assume that men do not need words of affirmation because they do not openly ask for them. But the truth is, just because a man does not verbalize his need does not mean that the need does not exist. Most men have been conditioned to believe that expressing a desire for encouragement might be seen as a weakness. So instead of asking for affirmation, they suppress the need, often suffering in silence. They continue to push forward, hoping that their actions will be enough, yet longing to hear words that confirm their worth. This is why only a small percentage of women take the time to intentionally affirm the men in their lives. It is not because they do not care, but because they do not always recognize how much it matters. Many women assume that showing love through actions, such as cooking, caring for the home, or offering support, is enough. While actions are certainly important, words carry a power that actions alone cannot replace. Words have the ability to heal wounds, restore confidence, and awaken potential. When a woman speaks life into a man through affirmation, she does more than just boost his self-esteem. She unlocks a level of strength within him that even he may not have realized he possessed. A man who is regularly affirmed will naturally become more confident, more driven, and more engaged in his relationships. He will feel empowered to take on challenges with a greater sense of purpose. And most importantly, he will feel deeply connected to the person who affirms him. Affirmation is not about flattery or empty praise. It is about being intentional with words, speaking to the greatness within a man, and reminding him that his presence, efforts, and love are not taken for granted. It is about recognizing that no matter how strong he appears, he still needs encouragement. It is about understanding that words have the power to build, to strengthen, and to inspire. And when used wisely, they can transform not only a man, but the very foundation of a relationship. A man's deepest need goes beyond what is often assumed. While love, companionship, and respect are important, there is something even more fundamental that shapes his confidence, his purpose, and his ability to thrive. Every man, regardless of his background, success, or status, carries within him a silent desire to be valued and appreciated for who he is, not just for what he does. He wants to know that his efforts matter, that his sacrifices are recognized, and that his presence in the lives of those he loves is significant. From an early age, men are taught to be strong, to suppress their emotions, and to keep moving forward despite challenges. They are conditioned to believe that their worth is tied to their ability to provide, to protect, and to solve problems. Because of this, many men grow up believing that as long as they fulfill these roles, they should be content. Yet beneath this exterior, there is a yearning for something more. He does not just want to be needed, he wants to be cherished, respected, and seen. He does not just want to be acknowledged when he succeeds, he wants to feel that even in his struggles, he is still enough. A man's need for appreciation is not about seeking validation for every action he takes. It is about knowing that his presence and his contributions are valued, not just expected. When a man gives his best, whether in his career, in his relationship, or as a father, he desires to know that it makes a difference. This is why affirmation and encouragement are so powerful. A simple statement like, "I believe in you," or "I appreciate everything you do," can have a profound impact on his sense of purpose. It reassures him that he is not merely fulfilling an obligation, but that his efforts truly mean something. One of the deepest fears many men have is feeling inadequate or unworthy. They may not always express it, but there is often an internal battle between the desire to succeed and the fear of failing those who rely on them. When a man does not hear words of appreciation or affirmation, he may begin to feel invisible. He may start to wonder if his hard work is even noticed, or if he is simply taken for granted. This can lead to frustration, emotional withdrawal, or even a loss of motivation. No man wants to feel like he is merely an obligation in someone's life. He wants to feel like he is a blessing. This need for appreciation is especially important in romantic relationships. Many women assume that a man's greatest desire is physical intimacy or admiration for his strength, but in reality, it is much deeper than that. He longs to be respected in a way that reaffirms his value. Respect for a man is not just about following his leadership, it is about recognizing his heart, his efforts, and his struggles. A woman who understands this and speaks life into her man will unlock a level of love and devotion from him that goes beyond what she might expect. When a man feels truly valued, he becomes more confident, more giving, and more emotionally present. The need for appreciation is also evident in friendships and professional settings. A man who feels respected and acknowledged in his work environment is far more likely to excel and take pride in his contributions. Conversely, a man who feels unrecognized or undervalued may lose his passion, even if he is financially successful. In friendships, a man appreciates loyalty and support. He may not always express his emotions openly, but he values the people who stand by him, encourage him, and recognize his worth. A man does not need constant praise, nor does he seek validation at every moment. What he desires most is to know that his presence, his work, and his love are meaningful. He wants to feel that he is seen not just for what he provides, but for who he is at his core. The words, "I appreciate you, I respect you, and I believe in you," may seem small, but to a man, they hold incredible weight. They fuel his drive, affirm his purpose, and remind him that his efforts are not in vain. And when a man feels deeply valued, he will pour even more of himself into the people and the things that matter most to him. Women hold back from expressing affirmation and appreciation to men for various reasons, many of which stem from societal norms, personal experiences, and misunderstandings about what men truly need. From an early age, women are often taught that men are naturally confident, self-sufficient, and emotionally strong. They grow up believing that men do not require verbal encouragement or reassurance in the same way that women do. Because of this, many women assume that their silence or lack of verbal affirmation does not affect a man's emotional well-being. They may believe that their love and appreciation are understood through actions rather than words, never realizing that a simple statement of encouragement could make a significant difference. For some women, past experiences play a significant role in their reluctance to affirm men. If a woman has been in a relationship where her kindness and encouragement were taken for granted or even manipulated, she may develop a habit of holding back. She may believe that her words of appreciation will not be valued or that they will be met with arrogance rather than gratitude. This emotional defense mechanism prevents her from freely expressing admiration even when she truly feels it. She may convince herself that withholding affirmation is a form of protection, ensuring that she does not give too much to someone who may not reciprocate her efforts. Another factor that causes women to hold back is the misconception that men do not need emotional support in the same way that women do. Because men are often less expressive about their emotional needs, women assume that words of affirmation are not important to them. They may notice that men do not frequently ask for verbal encouragement, which reinforces the belief that it is unnecessary. However, just because a man does not vocalize his need for affirmation does not mean he does not crave it. In fact, many men have simply learned to suppress their need for encouragement because they have rarely received it. When a woman understands this and begins to affirm the man in her life, she often witnesses an incredible transformation in his confidence, drive, and emotional openness. In some cases, women hold back because they have been told that men should not rely on external validation. They may believe that a strong man should be able to motivate himself without needing words of encouragement from others. While self-motivation is important, the truth is that everyone, regardless of gender, thrives on affirmation. A man who is constantly pushing himself forward but never hears words of encouragement from those closest to him may begin to feel unappreciated, unseen, and emotionally disconnected. Just as women appreciate reassurance and emotional support, men also need to know that their presence, their work, and their sacrifices are valued. Many women also struggle with expressing affirmation because they assume their actions speak louder than words. They believe that by cooking meals, taking care of a home, or offering support in practical ways, their love and appreciation should be clear. While actions are undoubtedly meaningful, they do not replace the power of words. A man may see the effort his partner puts into the relationship, but if he never hears direct words of encouragement, he may still feel unseen and unappreciated. Words have a unique ability to touch the heart in ways that actions alone cannot. Women hold back from affirming men not because they do not care, but because they have been shaped by cultural conditioning, past experiences, and misunderstandings about what men truly need. When a woman learns to express appreciation openly and without hesitation, she unlocks a level of connection and trust that strengthens the foundation of any relationship. Affirmation is not about feeding a man's ego. It is about speaking life into him, reinforcing his purpose, and reminding him that he is valued not just for what he does, but for who he is. The 1% rule highlights a reality that many overlook. While every man longs to hear words of affirmation and appreciation, only a small percentage of women intentionally speak these words into his life. This is not because women do not care, but because they often do not realize the profound impact their words can have. In relationships, workplaces, and even friendships, men rarely hear the kind of affirmation that fuels their confidence and strengthens their purpose. The small percentage of women who do recognize this power stand out, not because they do something extraordinary, but because they do something rare. They speak life where others remain silent. Most women assume that men do not need verbal encouragement in the same way that women do. They believe that because men do not always express their emotional needs, they must not have them. However, men are just as susceptible to self-doubt, feelings of inadequacy, and the pressures of expectation. They may not always voice these struggles, but they feel them deeply. A man may go through his entire day facing criticism, challenges, and responsibilities without ever hearing a single word of encouragement. He may provide, protect, and persevere, yet feel completely unnoticed. While he continues to push forward, a quiet question lingers in his mind. Does anyone see what I am doing? Does it even matter? The 1% of women who choose to affirm men recognize this unspoken need. They understand that words of encouragement are not a luxury but a necessity. They see that just as water is essential for physical survival, affirmation is essential for emotional and mental well-being. These women do not wait for special occasions to express appreciation. They do not assume that their love is understood without ever being spoken. Instead, they are intentional with their words, knowing that what is unspoken is often unfelt. Many women hesitate to give affirmations because they fear it will make a man arrogant or overconfident. They worry that if they constantly tell a man how great he is, he may stop putting in effort. However, the truth is quite the opposite. A man who feels consistently appreciated does not become complacent. He becomes more motivated, more present, and more willing to give his best. When a man knows that his efforts are seen and valued, he is naturally driven to keep going. It is not empty flattery that fuels a man. It is genuine recognition of his efforts and character. The difference between the 1% and the majority is not that these women love men more, but that they express it differently. They understand that affirmation is not about manipulating a man's emotions or making him dependent on praise. It is about strengthening his sense of purpose and reinforcing the belief that his presence matters. These women recognize that men, like everyone else, have moments of doubt and discouragement, and that a few simple words can make all the difference. The rare few who affirm men do so in a way that is both intentional and consistent. They do not just say, "I appreciate you" once and assume that it is enough. They make it a habit to notice the small things: a hard day's work, a thoughtful action, a quiet sacrifice. And they speak life into those moments. They understand that affirmation is not about grand gestures, but about consistent recognition. It is about making sure that the man in their life never has to wonder if what he does is valued. Because so few women practice this, the ones who do stand out in a man's life. They create a sense of emotional safety that allows a man to be his best self. A man will always gravitate toward the person who makes him feel respected and appreciated. He will remember the words that uplifted him in moments of doubt. He will cherish the person who saw his worth not just in moments of success, but in times of struggle. What makes the 1% rule so powerful is not just that it transforms the way a man feels about himself, but that it transforms relationships. When a man feels deeply valued, he pours more of himself into the people who affirm him. He becomes more engaged, more giving, and more willing to build a lasting connection. The 1% of women who understand this do not have to chase love, attention, or commitment, because when a man feels appreciated, he naturally responds with more love, attention, and commitment in return. Transforming relationships is not about grand gestures or dramatic changes. It is about the small, consistent actions that build connection, trust, and mutual respect over time. Many relationships struggle not because of a lack of love, but because of a lack of intentionality in how that love is expressed. People often assume that their partner knows how they feel, but unspoken love can sometimes feel like unseen love. The way a relationship grows and deepens is through the daily choices made to affirm, appreciate, and understand one another on a deeper level. One of the most powerful ways to transform a relationship is through intentional communication. Words have the ability to shape emotions, build confidence, and create a sense of security. When someone feels truly heard and valued, they naturally open up more, creating a cycle of deeper emotional intimacy. A simple shift from speaking out of frustration to speaking out of understanding can change the entire dynamic of a relationship. Instead of assuming the worst, asking questions, listening attentively, and responding with kindness can turn even the most difficult conversations into moments of growth. Affirmation plays a critical role in any relationship because it reminds both people that their efforts are seen and appreciated. Whether in a romantic relationship, a friendship, or even a family dynamic, people thrive when they feel valued. Small words of encouragement can change the course of someone's day and, over time, their entire perspective on their relationship. It is easy to focus on what is lacking, on the things that could be improved. But choosing to recognize what is good, what is working, and what is appreciated shifts the focus from frustration to gratitude. Many relationships struggle because appreciation is assumed rather than expressed. Over time, what was once exciting and new becomes routine, and the things that were once acknowledged with enthusiasm are taken for granted. The effort put into providing, protecting, or even just being emotionally present often goes unnoticed, not because it is not valued, but because it becomes expected. This slow shift from appreciation to expectation can create resentment, making one or both partners feel like their efforts no longer matter. Transforming a relationship requires breaking this cycle by bringing back intentional appreciation, making the conscious effort to recognize and acknowledge the value each person brings. Respect is another key factor in transformation. In any strong relationship, there must be a foundation of mutual respect. where both individuals feel seen, heard, and valued for who they are. Respect goes beyond just words. It is shown through actions, through the way one prioritizes the other person's feelings, and through the small choices made every day. It is about recognizing that the other person is an individual with their own thoughts, emotions, and experiences, and treating those aspects with care. A relationship cannot thrive where there is belittling, dismissiveness, or a lack of consideration for the other person's perspective. Forgiveness is another essential component of transformation. No relationship is perfect and mistakes are inevitable. Holding on to resentment only creates emotional distance, making it harder for real intimacy to grow. True forgiveness does not mean ignoring problems or allowing unhealthy patterns to continue. It means addressing issues with honesty while also allowing space for growth and change. A relationship that is built on grace and understanding is far more likely to last than one built on the expectation of perfection. Consistency is what truly makes a transformed relationship last. A relationship cannot thrive on occasional moments of kindness or sporadic efforts at appreciation. It requires daily, intentional choices to show love, respect, and gratitude. The relationships that stand the test of time are the ones where both individuals continue to invest, even when it is not convenient, even when emotions fluctuate, and even when life becomes overwhelming. True transformation does not happen in a single moment. It happens in the everyday decisions to love, to appreciate, and to grow together. Speaking life into someone is one of the most powerful ways to uplift, encourage, and strengthen a relationship. It is not just about saying positive words, but about intentionally using language to build confidence, instill hope, and reinforce value. Many people underestimate the impact of their words, not realizing that the way they communicate can either fuel someone's motivation or drain their spirit. Speaking life is not complicated, but it does require thoughtfulness, consistency, and a willingness to be intentional with the way words are used. Another way to speak life is through active listening. Sometimes people do not need advice or solutions, they just need to be heard. When someone shares their struggles, their dreams, or their frustrations, responding with genuine interest and validation makes them feel valued. Instead of dismissing their feelings or immediately offering fixes, acknowledging their emotions and showing empathy creates a sense of connection and trust. Phrases like, "That sounds really challenging, but I know you'll figure it out," or "I can see how much this means to you and I support you," reinforce their strength and capability while letting them know they are not alone. Encouraging effort rather than just results is another key way to speak life. Many people only receive praise when they succeed, which can create a fear of failure. By affirming the process rather than just the outcome, it helps build resilience and confidence. Saying things like, "I admire how hard you're working on this," or "Even if it doesn't go as planned, I respect your dedication," shifts the focus from perfection to progress. This kind of encouragement helps people stay motivated even when challenges arise. Speaking life also means using words that highlight someone's strengths. Every person has qualities that make them unique and valuable, but many do not see those qualities in themselves. Acknowledging someone's patience, kindness, intelligence, or creativity helps them recognize and embrace their own gifts. Saying, "You have such a great way of making people feel comfortable," or "Your perspective always adds value to the conversation," affirms their strengths in a way that encourages them to walk confidently in their abilities. Expressing gratitude is another practical way to speak life. Many times people assume that appreciation is understood, but unspoken gratitude can feel like unseen effort. Saying "Thank you for always being there," or "I don't take for granted everything you do," lets people know that their actions and presence are valued. Gratitude not only uplifts the person receiving it, but also strengthens the relationship by creating a culture of appreciation and mutual respect. Another way to speak life is by offering words of belief in someone's potential. Many people doubt themselves or feel uncertain about their abilities. Reminding them of their capability and speaking vision into their life can help them push past their fears. Saying things like, "I know you're capable of achieving this," or "I can't wait to see how far you go," instills confidence and helps them see possibilities they may not have recognized on their own. Avoiding negative or destructive speech is just as important as speaking positive words. Criticism, sarcasm, and dismissive comments can damage self-esteem and create emotional distance. Being mindful of tone, phrasing, and intent ensures that words are used to uplift rather than tear down. Even when offering constructive feedback, framing it in a way that encourages growth rather than discouragement makes a significant difference. Instead of saying you never get this right, saying I know you're capable and I believe you can improve this shifts the message from condemnation to empowerment. Speaking life is also about being consistent. Encouragement is not just for special moments or when someone is struggling. It should be a natural and ongoing part of communication. Making it a habit to express appreciation, acknowledge effort, and offer words of belief strengthens relationships and helps people feel seen, valued, and empowered. Words have the ability to shape how people see themselves and their potential, and when used intentionally, they become a powerful tool for transformation and growth. A call to action is not just about inspiring words. It is about making a conscious decision to shift from passive understanding to intentional living. Many people recognize the importance of encouragement, appreciation, and speaking life into others, yet very few make it a daily habit. It is easy to assume that people already know they are valued, loved, and capable. But the reality is that unspoken words often leave gaps in confidence, relationships, and personal growth. Change happens when intention meets action, and the impact of small, consistent efforts cannot be underestimated. Every day presents an opportunity to uplift someone, to reinforce their sense of worth, and to remind them that their presence matters. It does not take much effort to say, I appreciate you, I see how hard you are working, or you are making a difference. Yet these simple words can shift someone's entire mindset. People are often fighting silent battles, questioning their purpose, or wondering if their efforts are even noticed. A few words of encouragement can be the very thing that gives them the strength to keep going. When affirmation and appreciation become a natural part of conversation, they create an atmosphere where confidence, motivation, and trust can thrive. Taking action also means being intentional in relationships. It is easy to fall into routines where appreciation is assumed rather than expressed. Over time, what was once valued can become expected, and effort can go unnoticed. Relationships, whether romantic, familial, or professional, are strengthened by the consistent acknowledgement of each other's contributions. Expressing gratitude, recognizing strengths, and offering support are not just acts of kindness. They are investments in deeper, more meaningful connections. A strong relationship is not built on occasional grand gestures, but on everyday choices to show appreciation and respect. One of the most powerful ways to take action is by making encouragement a habit rather than an afterthought. Instead of waiting for a perfect moment to offer words of support, choosing to incorporate them into daily interactions makes a lasting impact. A simple text message, a handwritten note, or a short conversation can be enough to remind someone that they are seen and valued. The best time to speak life into someone is now, not later when it feels more convenient or necessary. Every word spoken today has the power to shape someone's future, influence their decisions, and strengthen their belief in themselves. Taking action also means being mindful of how words are used in difficult moments. It is easy to affirm someone when things are going well, but the real test comes when tensions rise, when mistakes are made, or when discouragement sets in. Choosing words that build rather than tear down, that guide rather than criticize, and that restore rather than wound makes all the difference. Even in moments of correction, words should reinforce belief in a person's potential rather than diminish their self-worth. A person who knows they are still valued even in their failures is far more likely to grow and improve than one who only receives affirmation when they succeed. Transforming the way words are used does not just impact others, it also changes the one who speaks them. When words of encouragement become a way of life, they cultivate a mindset of gratitude, appreciation, and positivity. Speaking life into others creates an environment where confidence and emotional security flourish, not just for the recipient, but also for the speaker. The habit of seeing the best in others and verbalizing it naturally leads to a more fulfilling and connected way of living. Action requires consistency. Encouragement should not be something that happens only when emotions are high or circumstances demand it. It should be a steady and intentional practice that becomes second nature. The small moments of recognition, the kind words in passing, and the thoughtful affirmations given without expectation all contribute to a culture of encouragement that transforms relationships, workplaces, and communities. Words are one of the most powerful tools available, and using them intentionally can create ripples of change far beyond what can be immediately seen.